Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. I got an email from Zachary Bowie. Subject line, Bentonville, Arkansas tornado experience. Hello, I thought I would share with you about a recent event that we had at the Bentonville, Arkansas temple. We recently, during the Memorial Day weekend, had a total of 7 tornadoes. This already caught my attention, my attention right here with 7. We've been talking about 7 a lot more recently, and the number 8. But okay, yeah, the Bentonville, Arkansas temple and 7 tornadoes. Okay, got it. Okay, so a total of 7 tornadoes go through the northwest Arkansas area, almost all in Benton County. And by the way, I looked it up, just doing my due diligence. I like to be thorough. And here's Bentonville, Arkansas, the city that the temple is in, and it is in Benton County. It's actually the county seat. So, okay. All right. Some within a few miles of the temple with major damage even in the street right behind the temple that the Church News did an article on recently. And we're going to be looking at that in just a second. With dozens of huge mature trees falling on houses. That's unfortunate. And let me just say, that's been a concern of mine with my house. We have trees all around it, and I just feel like one of these days, one of these trees are going to fall on top, but I pray that that doesn't happen. The guy before us, like, he did a lot of stuff with this property, and it's like really nice, but one of the things I don't really care for are all the trees so close to the house. Okay, anyway, we had a few trees down at the temple, but they were still young. So fixing / removing them wasn't a huge issue. We had no broken windows, despite the 100-mile-per-hour winds and large hail. Now, you guys, that's hurricane force winds right there. In fact, I wasn't thinking about this. Let's look up the Saffir-Simpson scale, which tells you how hurricanes are defined. And so if this was a hurricane, just because of the equivalent wind speed, it'd be like a category 2 hurricane. So that is no joke. Okay. Now look at this. Now here's like the main thing with this video. Part of what makes it a small miracle for us here is that all the large mature trees in the area all around the temple that fell has now made the temple much more visible from the highway and neighborhoods. Before, it was kind of hidden due to all the trees. Now, you can see from much farther away. That is so neat. And I'm not going to write that off. I know some people would, but you have 7 tornadoes, really? And by the way, this is part of this series of tornadoes that started in the Salt Lake Valley. That first landspout tornado, that was the first one in all these tornadoes that we are now seeing. My recent video, I did the one about the tornadoes near Washington, D.C., which is astounding. But now we have this. 7 tornadoes that made the Bentonville, Arkansas temple much more visible. And there is one picture that kind of shows that, so we'll look at that in just a second. All right, continuing. It was also good on the Memorial Day Monday. Okay, wait. It was also good on the Memorial Day Monday. The Stake Center and temple parking lot was completely overflowing with volunteers who came to clean up, and most of them went to work on those houses right behind our buildings, so that community was directly blessed by the amazing members of our area. We also had large number of shrubs and annual flowers that were stripped to the stem, but in only 1 week they are in only 1 week they're basically back to normal. Just thought I would share this story to you about the great things that are happening here despite the ravaging storms that affected us. Thank you for your awesome channel and best of luck with it. Zachary Bowie. And I'm sure you would have said it, Zachary, but I hope that everything is okay with you and your family and friends and Ward and Stake. I hope none of them were affected or affected too badly from what happened. Okay, so he attached 9 pictures, and here you go. exactly what you do not want to see in your neighborhood. And I think that we should all be prepared to help others. Um, if something like this happens, have tools and just be willing to serve, because what if this happened to you? By the way, in the description box of each video, I'm going to be doing this for a while. You'll remember that one of my subscribers has gone through this. She needed a new what's it called? Like a handicap van, because she's in a wheelchair. So they have to buy a new van, and their house was totaled. And even though a lot of it's covered by the home insurance, there's still expenses that they have to pay to like replace things and just, the expenses in between. So she's experiencing a hard time right now. Her name is Lori Hast. So go to the description box. If you can donate, please do. Just imagine if you were in this situation, especially if you weren't as well off. I don't know each one of your individual financial situation, but just imagine yourself in this situation. It's really good when people come to help. Okay, then here's the temple grounds right here. See me? Oh, it looks like I'm assuming that this tree right here, this might be one of those that he's talking about, because it looks like a bunch of branches fell off this one. So there's that, but there's more. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Here's like a flower bed, devastated by the winds. A house that has, I thought this was like sticking out of the roof. No, it looks like that house is okay. Thank goodness. But it has a large pile of, that's a bunch of firewood. That's the first thing that I think of. It's a lot of wood to go through. Looks like there was a chain link fence that is now just knocked over. A tree that fell onto a chain link fence. Okay, so from here, let's move on to that article that he was talking about. This is in Church News. Latter-day Saints cleared debris, serve neighbors after Arkansas tornadoes. Now, this one says at least 12 tornadoes kill 8 people. Okay, but what you have to understand is the 12 tornadoes being referred to, like you can pull up like articles like this. This is karc.com, NBC. National Weather Service confirms at least 12 tornadoes in Arkansas. So that's referring to the entire state, Arkansas, during Memorial Day. But if you go to the local news, especially, I think it's this one. Yeah. This one, 7 tornadoes now confirmed in Northwest Arkansas, Memorial Day weekend. And it talks about Benton County. So that's what would make this, to me, in my mind, the way things work in my mind, this is what would make it a sign. It's not just like in Arkansas. Arkansas is a very large area. We're talking about the county that the temple is in. If we go to Google Maps, just so you can get a rough idea, in case you didn't know, here's Arkansas right here, right? I'm over here by Wichita. Down south is Oklahoma. And then right here, this northwest corner, this is where Benton County is, and the Bentonville, Arkansas temple. Now on Google Earth, they don't show the temple yet. They do on the street view, but let me just give you a general idea. So from the highway, according to this, so the temple would be like right here. So from this portion of the highway, it is pretty visible, but I'm assuming that, and I wouldn't know until I get some pictures. I don't know, but I would assume that a bunch of these trees, like maybe as you're driving this way, for example. Okay, so like say that you're on the freeway right here, and here's the temple. You have like all these, as you're like driving this way, you have all these trees right here that are in the way. So I can't confirm that these are the ones being spoken about, but I think they might be. Because in the email it said that you can see the temple much farther away, and he did mention the highway. So probably from that side. Over here, I don't know, because like you have this building that's in the way, but there are these trees right here. So I don't know. I don't have those details, but I'll take his word for it. And we do have we do have one picture that's in this article. So anyway, this article confines it to Benton County, and it lists the different tornadoes. Tornado number 1, and then it describes it and the location and the strength. Tornado number 2, da 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 da. So there's 7. Okay, so don't get tripped up by that. At least 12 tornadoes kill 8 people. I've been thinking a lot about 8 lately, just ever since I had that it wasn't really a realization, just remembering that 8 is the age of accountability. And if that translates into the Lord's pattern in doing things, then maybe that's a number to think about. Accountability. It's like 7, you're good, right? Up until you're 8 years old, you're good. But then at 8, that's when it's time. That's when you're now accountable for your actions. So as we think about President Oaks, we're going from President Nelson, who's the 17th, which has a 7 in it, and we go to President Oaks. If that's how things go, and he's 18, he's the judge, and judges, they are about accountability. I don't know if you know that or not, but they are. So, okay, anyway, I'm not laughing at this, though. At least 12 tornadoes killed 8 people, destroyed homes, and left thousands without power during the weekend of May 25th. All right. And then it says, one of those tornadoes was the widest ever recorded in the state at 1.8, and there's another 8, by the way, at 1.8 miles wide, with winds up to 154 miles per hour. Okay, so I wanted to look into that. Let me turn this. I hate how the video is just like autoplay. This is from CBS 5 News. Recent Arkansas tornado recorded as widest in state history. And it traveled almost 8 miles. Okay, so the length of it was 1.8 miles, and then the distance that it traveled was almost 8 miles. There's a lot of 8s going on here. Okay, Decatur, Arkansas. As Arkansans are picking up the pieces after a storm that spawned deadly tornadoes, destroyed homes, and shut off power for tens of thousands, the National Weather Service has confirmed one of the tornadoes that hit Decatur was the widest recorded in the state. According to the National Weather Service report, the tornado began in Oklahoma around 1 a.m. and ended in Decatur around 1:20 a.m. The tornado then traveled 7.9 miles, or just a hair beneath 8 miles. It's almost like, if you look at it in this way that I'm talking about, it's almost like just short of judgment, or just short of accountability, in which if you're accountable for something bad, then later comes judgment. The tornado then traveled 7.9 miles and was over 1.8 miles wide, or 3,200 yards, with winds up to 154 miles per hour. Okay, so, geez Louise. So we have the temple involved in this. We have the number 8 all over the place. We have the temple becoming more visible. And then we have this record-breaking tornado, the widest tornado in Arkansas state history. So this is a rather interesting story. In the aftermath, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Rogers, Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville, Arkansas stakes came together to clean up the damage and help those in need. So here's the one picture where I think that we can kind of see what he was talking about in the email. So this would be, I suppose, the neighborhood behind the temple, because again, if you look at this, the temple's like right here, right here. It looks like that girl is probably walking down like maybe this street right here. It comes to like a T in the road, and there's a T in the road. I can't be sure. Maybe it's this one over here. I have no idea. But whatever the case, it seems like that's probably where she's at, is like somewhere like in this area. Yeah. So let's zoom in, and you can see, here's a tree that's been snapped. I think this is the trunk, or maybe it's like branches, and maybe this is another branch right here. But it does seem like the tree continued up, and there would have been leaves, obscuring the temple right there. It's hard to see. Maybe some of these. Well, it looks like this one right here. It looks like there's like a snap branch right there. But I wouldn't be surprised if like these trees right here were reduced in their size. So yeah, there you get kind of an idea how the temple is more visible. When you go through something tragic, something that causes trauma, a lot of times that can be an opportunity, or it could cause people to draw closer to the Lord and think about mortality, think about our need, our dependence on the Lord, just for our daily living, the breath, the air that we breathe. So if you were someone in here and you experience this, you have a tree fall on your house, or your property is damaged, and then you have this like opening in the trees, like the temple shines through, you may have a religious experience in that. It could be a powerful religious experience for you. So it's just interesting, and then you can see like other trees, like, this one's obviously in bad shape and it has some snapped branches right there. This one's hanging down. And then you have all this on the ground. But that's really, it's tragic, but it's really neat. The stuff going on here. 7 tornadoes. Again, not that there were 7 tornadoes in the immediate vicinity of the temple, but that they were all pretty close together in Benton County. Okay, let's exit out of this. In the Trails and Drive community, directly behind the Bentonville, Arkansas temple, hundreds of volunteers worked for an entire day clearing roads and driveways. Trails and Drive was one of the hardest hit areas, according to the news release. So I don't think this is where that record-breaking tornado went through. Well, yeah, no, it's not, because it was talking about Decatur. But regardless of size, what really matters is if it hits like a populated area. And in this case, whatever the strength of this tornado, it caused a lot of damage. So therefore, one of the hardest hit areas. Okay. Is there anything else? Some people moving that log. I have like a whole pile of branches and logs that I'm trying to go through as we're, cleaning up our property and getting ready to sell the house, which probably isn't going to happen for a while, by the way, because it's probably going to take us longer than we thought to replace the septic, but it's okay. Let's see. Was there anything else that I had? Yeah. So what I did, I feel, this is just my feeling. I'm not telling you what to think. I feel like this is like a church specific sign. And so I have a spreadsheet for church specific signs. And this is the newest one. The one most recent to that was the April 8th total solar eclipse. The reason why is because it went over the Kirtland Temple just a month after we purchased it. It also went over the Sacred Grove. And it seems to be associated with the other 2 eclipses of 2017 and 2023. So church specific. If you've missed my videos, I've done videos on all the things that you have here. So you can either like come here. The link for my spreadsheets is in the description box of each video. You can come here and then do a search on my channel for, keywords like Samoa or Angel Moroni or Tonga or whatever, and watch the video. Or you can just like go through here and just see what I have. But and this is obviously completely just like, it's incomplete by far. But my earliest entry is this from the 22nd of September, 1822. And then my most recent one is this one that happened over the Memorial Day weekend. And you know what? That's something I need to put here. I forgot to put that column. I'm adding a new column to a lot of these spreadsheets for significant day. So if you go to my signs, tornadoes spreadsheet, I have column D for significant day. So in this case, these 7 tornadoes in Benton County, Arkansas, they happened over Memorial Day weekend. I don't have any interpretation for that. It may not mean anything. I doubt it, but I'm just taking note of it. If you have any ideas, if you can associate that with anything, let me know. Put it in the comments below. Also, I meant to mention this at the beginning of the video. I've updated the Flood the Earth Challenge. So we're at 9,068 copies of the Book of Mormon that have been shared so far. We're trying to get to 10,000. We're getting pretty close to that. That is going to be a great day. I cannot wait for that. I can't believe that it's actually come this far. Also, I just want to remind everybody, if you've had one of these people that got baptized, you gave them a Book of Mormon and they got baptized, if they've progressed beyond that, like they've received their endowments or have been sealed in the temple, please let me know, because I'm tracking that now as well. If you haven't joined the challenge yet, I would encourage you to do so. 1, to motivate yourself, but 2, the more people that join this, the more I think it motivates everybody, because it's like this big collective effort that we're all engaged in. So I would just use the Gospel Library app, go to Scriptures, and then at the top there's a share button for the Book of Mormon app. Then you can email it, text it, or whatever. Or you can just give out a hard copy. But once you do, just let me know in the comments or send me an email, and make sure to include #flood so I can find your stuff. If it's an email, put it in the subject line, please. And you'll have to give me a few days, possibly up to a week or two before I update it. But whenever I come across your comment or email, I always acknowledge it. So if it's been more than 2 weeks, then send it again, please. Okay. And yeah, I think that's it. Let me just make sure. I've done videos before where I've like missed a tab. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just one last thing. Just remember, it all started in Salt Lake this year. All these tornadoes, this tornado season, this tornado outbreak, it all started in Salt Lake this year. Okay, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.